Let's talk about the future of electric vehicles. EV tax credits are set to expire on September 30th, 2025. Meanwhile, gas cars are getting new perks, and traditional automakers are getting off easy. Can tariffs on Chinese EVs save America's electric future? Watch the full video to discover which policy shift will drive or stall the EV revolution.
Gary, moving thing number two. So this happened quickly. It seemed like these EV tax credits, those started to get phased out. I know this is not a five thing, but we even saw stuff on the solar side. I was driving home actually today and got some ads from Semper Solaris talking about the 30% tax credits that are disappearing. But we're talking about the EVs here, helping U.S. internal combustion engine manufacturers. But could this potentially favor Chinese EV makers? You're going to propose a Trumpian solution. I really like that word, by the way,
Yeah,
as
that's a
we
good
talk
one.
about this thing. But Gary, thing number two, we're calling it the end of the road for EV tax credits. I'm sure Elon's all over this one too, and probably some of the friction, I'm sure, over the last couple of months between him and Donald Trump, President Trump. But Gary, tell us what we need to know about thing number two.
Yeah, look, on this one, I get the whole thing. President Trump needed the big, beautiful bill to keep the tax cuts in place. Without it, the American people were going to be facing a gigantic tax increase. That's not good for anyone. But, listen, Elon Musk wanted to be on board with this administration specifically to try to cut spending, to try to cut costs. I've been a fan of what he's been trying to do at Doge. And, we've been honest about the fact that, even though we have approved of some of President Trump's regulatory policies, some of his plans for the economy, certainly keeping the tax rates the same instead of increasing, we've said all along that nobody from either party was going to cut spending. And that's exactly where we are. And, I understand Elon Musk's frustration with that. It's a completely legitimate point of view that he has. And I think the only reason I'm not more frustrated right now with the lack of spending discipline is this was something we anticipated a year ago, right? We
Mm-hmm.
told
You did.
viewers of the five things a year ago, this is what is coming. No matter what, there will be more spending.
Yep.
Lots of reasons to go vote, but lower spending is not going to be one of them. Both candidates for president, both parties, were going to overspend. So that's where we are.
Yeah, Gary, you really nailed that and on record multiple times saying that, right? Regardless, Biden, Trump, Harris, whoever it may have been, the spending is the issue, and it was going to be the issue regardless of red or white. Gary, if the U.S. does stop subsidizing these EV purchases, and let's say China continues to do so, obviously to gain market share there. I mean, what can the U.S. do to protect its own EV environment and EV manufacturing industry?
All right, that's the right question, Rob, and I'm so glad you asked that. So let's take this apart for people a little bit. We were just talking about the big, beautiful bill, and part of that did rewrite the rules for electric and ICE, internal combustion engine vehicles. That's just regular cars, okay? And this bill does favor conventional gas vehicles, and EV tax credits are going to be phased out quickly by September 30th of 2025. We're filming this in the middle of July, so coming up. Right. And so what this is going to do is shift focus in the United States away from EVs, which have been subsidized. And in fairness, why in the world were we subsidized? Were we having average Americans subsidize people who could afford to buy $90,000 cars, right? A lot of those EVs were expensive. So the whole policy was crazy to begin with. And the internal combustion engine vehicles, that's where our automakers make their money. So they're going to focus more on that at the expense of EVs. So great for US car manufacturers, great for internal combustion engine makers. But the concern is because the tax credits won't be here for the US based EVs, what that does is that leaves space for China to try to take market share. Now, Chinese electric vehicle makers are subsidized by their government, the Chinese Communist Party, in an attempt to win market share. And so the concern, and this is a legitimate concern, is if the US doesn't support our EV industry, our electric automakers, and China is subsidizing theirs, we'll end up with market distortions. our industry is going to be hampered. We've been watching this movie for the last 40 years and a whole bunch of other industries. It's something we've talked about many times related to the tariffs. And what that's going to do is leave a wide open space for China to subsidize their EV market. And, 10, 20 years from now, we can be in a situation where we don't have that manufacturing capacity, but China does. So the question is, what do we do? Because I just went on record as saying I am against us subsidizing. Why should the average American subsidize someone buying a $90,000 car? We shouldn't. It's not the right thing to do. But China's not going to play fair. They're going to subsidize their industry. What do? Tariff them, right? We simply equalize that. We take the money that they are giving to their EV industry and we say, okay, well, that allows you to lower your price. Guess what? We're going to put tariffs on your goods and raise the price to the point where we don't lose our EV manufacturers. And for clarity, I am not against the United States making electric vehicles. I am against our government making that choice for people. I want our citizens to have the choice. You should be able to buy the car that you want, whether it's an internal combustion engine vehicle or an electric vehicle. And we should have domestic auto manufacturing capacity and assembly capacity in the United States for both. And if our trade partners are not going to play fair, then you use tariffs to level that playing field. And we shouldn't be picking our winners and losers, but we also shouldn't be letting foreign governments pick our winners and losers. So that's the Trumpian solution to this. And the only other thing I can say on this is thank you for attention to this matter, or for your attention to this matter. I got to practice that.
Yeah,
I didn't stick the landing. What can I say?
Yeah. Be careful. Be careful. We'll have President Trump knocking on our door. Hopefully, President Trump. Anytime you want to come on the 5 things, you just please let us know, and we'll let you use that sign off. Gary, before we transition to the next thing, which is kind of a follow up to what we were just talking about, I just want to remind everybody, head over to our website, deepknowledgeinvesting.com. You can grab a free subscription. All you need to do is enter your email. You'll be added to our email list, get all emails for new content posted to the site, deals, promos, webinars, and obviously the weekly version of the 5 things. You can also sign up for a premium subscription, $100 a month. That'll get you access to the entire DKI portfolio, buy, sell recommendations, breakdowns, premium gated content, and much, much more.